Hello, it's been a few days since I've posted, so I wanted to catch up a little bit. I've got a few things on my mind. I don't necessarily have any one topic in particular that I want to tackle, but I wanted to make sure that I do get a chance to put out what's been on my mind and do a little bit of sharing, since this platform has become quite the complement for my journaling, and it allows me to do pretty much the same thing that I do in my journal, which is basically put to pen and paper, and in this case to video, how I'm feeling, and helps me process things. And it just so happens to be a pretty public way of doing it with the videos. And the reason for that is because as I embarked on this wellness journey, I also made it my business. I also made it my promise, my mission to share with others the journey of a person with an eating disorder, an emotional eating disorder, to be more specific, and to let people know what it's like and to raise awareness around it, both for the person going through it, so that you can know that if you're going through it like I go through it, that you're not alone, and that there is help, and that there is hope, and that there are resources that we can utilize to help us overcome emotional eating, but also for the people who may have someone in their lives suffering from that and not really able to understand it. So I wanted to raise awareness both ways. So this past week, since I've gotten back to work after the holidays, I've been doing pretty well, except that when I come home in the evening, tired, I haven't really been staying on track. Like, I've actually had a few nights, actually 2 nights, back to back, where I actually made some pretty bad choices when it came to my food. And it kind of scared me because, as you know, I'm on this journey, and I'm on this mission to actually lose an average of 2 pounds per week, which puts me at about 110 pounds by the end of the year. And so putting that pressure on myself may have contributed to the fact that, of course, when I'm pressured, I have stress. And when I'm stressed, what do I turn to? Food for emotion, healing or whatever. So it kind of got me kind of scared, because I was like, oh my goodness, once again, am I going to be able to do this? Why am I not able to stick to the plan? Why am I making poor choices? And this whole guilt trip, this whole feeling guilty, feeling bad, criticizing myself came into play. Those of you who know the cycle know all too well that it is the worst thing that can happen to you when you're trying to get back on track. So as I mentioned, the first date happened, the second date happened, and then out of the blue, I don't know, I just got really, really sad and really, really scared, and I started to pray. Those of you who have been watching the videos for a while know that my faith has been a very, very solid rock in my journey. I turn to God because I know that without God, a lot of things couldn't have happened, and I know that with God, pretty much everything is possible. So I started to pray, as I mentioned, and then I started to cry. I was really, really feeling overwhelmed, and I was like, God, I don't really understand why this has been so difficult and why it has been such a challenge, to get on track, to stay on track, to be able to lose the weight, to be able to discipline myself, and to do the very simple task of losing 2 pounds a week, which I know is very sustainable, very reasonable, and whatnot. And so the epiphany came twofold, because the first thing is, yes, it is very sustainable, and it is very reasonable, and it is very feasible and even healthy, if there isn't something in the way in terms of, in my case, emotional eating. It's not the question of whether or not you can lose 2 pounds a week. So 1 to 2 pounds a week is actually pretty much, as I mentioned, it's been decided, like this is feasible, this is healthy, you can do this. But it's the reason why I'm not able to do it that actually needed to be addressed. And I'm really going to put myself out there because it actually is pretty personal. And the answer that I got back really was, okay, you know what? I was like, well, I'm not broken, I'm, and just as quickly as I said, I'm not broken, it's as if there was another voice that was like, yes, you are, Kat, and it's okay. It's okay. A lot of stuff has happened, a lot of trauma, a lot of things have happened in your life that have definitely put you in a situation in which there has been brokenness and it's never really been addressed. And I'm known to be, the happy person, the one who is there for others and the one who has the positive disposition. But I guess I haven't really been dealing with my own stuff in a heads-on kind of way. And I keep a lot of stuff inside and I don't deal with it, and I eat. And so I have not been dealing with the fact, nor have I even accepted up until yesterday that, yes, indeed, I need fixing. And the thing that was so deep and so beautiful about the moment yesterday that I was like, okay, yes, I am broken, and yes, I need fixing, was that in that same breath, it was as if I could feel the relief, the weight coming off my shoulders, because in that same breath, it was like, yes, Kat, you are broken. Let me fix you. So it was like the confirmation that this fixing that needs to happen is not going to come from my doing, but it's going to come from me relinquishing and letting go and letting God. Basically, getting my strength from the connection that I seek with my Creator. This isn't something that I'm doing on my own. I already knew that, but then there's a difference between when you know that and then when you know that, And so yesterday was definitely that kind of a day where it was like, yeah, it's okay. It's going to be all right. You were never meant to carry this load on your own. It's a very cool thing that you're doing this publicly and that you're letting the world know that there is such a thing as emotional eating, that it's far more complicated than calories in, calories out, exercising, that it does have to do with the management of stress, since the stress is what triggers the overeating, and that even more importantly, the reason for the stress needs to be addressed, and the reason for the emotions need to be addressed, and accepting that there is brokenness is a very major step in the right direction, especially when it is followed by the knowledge from my faith that I don't have to do it alone. I am with God. God is taking care of me. God is helping me heal and fix my life. So it was very important for me to talk about that and to really put it out there that I'm not doing this alone. It is my journey, but my journey is very much grounded in my faith in God and in the fact that my connection to my higher power is what is going to be helping me get from where I am now to overcoming this thing and just coming out victorious on the other side. Now, having gone through that little bit of an epiphany, as I mentioned, today I was talking to my husband, and he is kind of sad. He's lost two people back to back to illness. And last year, 2017, we lost quite a few people, some closer and some, people that we knew from other people. And a lot of the people were our age, our generation, and I'm not sure how much it impacted my drive and my desire to really, really get back and fix myself. But I'm sure that it did, because it's scary when you think that, today you're here and tomorrow that, it could be it. And today, my frame of mind is, I hope it's not too late for me to be able to repair the damage that I have done by neglecting my body, by abusing my body, because let's face it, if I'm not taking care of it, if I'm not eating well, sleeping well, managing my stress, that's neglect and that's abuse. There's no other way to put it. And so I just hope that there hasn't been any irreparable damage. Yes, I know that my A1C was a little bit elevated and that I am diagnosed with pre-diabetes, but I'm hoping against, I'm not even going to say against all hope. I'm hoping that it's not too late, that I have not done some type of irreparable damage to my system, to my body, and that moving forward, as I am on this journey to wellness and I am getting stronger and fitter and healthier of both mind and body, that I'm also able to live a long, healthy life, and that I can be a role model for my daughter and for people who, like me, want to turn their life around and be healthier. Because at this point, even though the weight loss is important, it's far, far, far beyond that. It's actually really about healing, about overcoming a condition that has plagued me for far too long, about, making sure that I'm taking care of my body and that I'm healing my body and that I am able to live a healthy lifestyle. So that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about tonight. I just really wanted to put it out there. I can't believe the stuff that I'm actually sharing, but if I'm going to do it and this is going to help somebody else and hopefully help me when I look back on those videos, it's actually very freeing to be able to say it out loud. Those are not the type of conversations that I've had with anybody, really. Very few people have been privy to that type of frame of mind, and so this is kind of weird, but freeing and empowering in another way. So if you like the content of, and you'd like to share it with somebody else, the message really is, you're not alone. It is feasible to overcome emotional eating and an eating disorder. The resources are out there. Don't think that you can do it alone, just like any other condition. It does require a support system. It requires professional help. It requires your spiritual connection. There's quite a bit of help out there. I know it can be very overwhelming. One of the things that has frustrated me to no end for many, many years is the fact that I couldn't talk about this to anybody because I didn't think anybody could understand. People would say, okay, you want to lose weight? Well, why don't you just, stick to a diet? Why don't you just exercise? Why don't you just, be more disciplined? And it's not about that. When we're talking about emotional eating, it's not that we don't know what to do. It's just that there's something bigger than ourselves that is keeping us from being able to implement the very things that we know are good for us and the very things that we know are going to help us achieve the goal of the weight loss. And so those are the things that need to be addressed. Finding alternate ways to manage my stress is imperative for me because that's the trigger. So I'm going to stop it here for tonight. For more content like this, please feel free to follow. It's Kat's Wellness Journey, and it's K, the @ '_S Wellness Journey. I welcome your feedbacks. I welcome your comments. Feel free to share if you think that somebody will be able to benefit from this content. And I will be back with more on my journey to wellness as we beat this together to your health and mind.